welcome to episode 12, technically episode 12.5 of the Jurassic World podcast. I'm joined with Chris and Asees. Hey guys.
Hey, how are you doing today?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing a lot better now.
Good.
I was sick recently.
Yeah, that sucks, man. It was good. Time for a podcast.
Absolutely, we are so overdue.
Should mention early on, JurassicFangear.com. Check out their merchandise. They actually sponsor us. Definitely worth checking out. And yeah, I'm pretty ready to go, so let's jump straight into this.
All right.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we are long overdue for a podcast. There is a lot that we want to discuss. There's a lot that people want us to discuss. I guess we've already analyzed the trailer.
Yeah, I mean, we did. It seems like you guys really like the analysis, actually. It's got like 12,000 views on YouTube, which is fantastic to see.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you for all the positive comments as well.
And the few negative ones who seem to attack me, but I like that. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Yeah, man. You love it when people attack.
Oh, it's the best. It's the best.
But no, that went down well.
Almost as much as you like Jurassic Park 3?
He loves Jurassic Park 3.
Oh, man. So what we really didn't talk about are our personal impressions of the trailer, and as well as the overall general audience impressions of the trailer. Like, what do we think that it all means? Like, did they do a good enough job with it? Could they have done better? Were some parts good, other parts bad, etc.? I think people sort of know where I stand on it, since I've voiced a lot of my feelings on Twitter. But so maybe if you guys, if one of you want to kick it off, I know that we have some contrasting opinions.
Sure. Well, I'm just going to jump in then. So, my impression of the trailer, I first watched it, I just got home, and it literally, I remember seeing Colin tweet, something's coming, blah, 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 and then the 3, 2, 1. I was sitting down, and I was just like, oh my god, perfect timing, like, coming home, to reveal the early trailer. First impressions were, I was absolutely blown away, We've been waiting for this movie for 12 years. Finally get to see a trailer, and it genuinely was everything I wanted to see. And then you give it a couple of watches, and you see the kind of, okay, that CGI is not perfect. Obviously, that's not something that bothers me at this early in the game. It was quite a full trailer compared to what I thought we were going to get, which was a bit toned back, even a teaser trailer, But no, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and then we studied it for the analysis, and I still loved it and stuff. And now it is a bit not cliche, but it is a bit. It does follow. I think it focuses a bit too much on like the spectacle and how big everything is, rather than sort of. It's really hard to explain. It didn't.
But yeah, I totally agree. I know exactly what you're saying.
Action. It's too generic Hollywood.
It's too generic.
Yes,
but I don't think the film is going to be that. That's the thing that bugs me about it. Is that I don't think the film's going to be that focused around how. Kind of generic blockbuster. I really don't think it's going to be like that, but I think Universal are trying to sell it like that.
Well, yeah, it's not a good idea.
I think the biggest issue that you have is it looks like just another summer movie. This isn't the long-awaited sequel. It didn't feel like the trailer for the long-awaited Jurassic Park 4 that we have been waiting for 14 years. It doesn't feel like the sequel to such an iconic movie that came out 22 years ago. The trailer just kind of comes out, and you feel like you might have seen the last Jurassic Park 2 years ago. It just kind of feels like, oh, here's another movie that's coming out. It didn't do anything too special. It was hoping that its own name could sell itself without doing anything incredibly special or clever with the trailer itself. And plus, it gave some people some bad vibes, not even going at the CG quality itself, but it focused a lot on a lot of CG heavy scenes. And there were some scenes that kind of raised a question, why was it CG? Like the river shot, I think kind of gave me a weird feeling, because while that river shot was beautiful, I don't really understand why the jungle, it's the forest or jungle, whatever you want to call it itself, had to be CG alongside the animals, especially when we've seen set pictures that show that they filmed for real. So
I agree with you, but saying that shot itself is one of my favorite in the trailer, so we might cross on that, but the shot itself, whatever they did, they made it look even better than I think it would have looked, personally. Also, I love the shot.
I just don't think that shot's going to be in the actual movie.
I hope you're right.
Promotion stuff, yeah.
I think that there'll be a similar shot in the movie, but I hope that was a promotional shot. I know it's an expensive promotional shot, but I hope it was. I think that the Gallimimus field scene looks a lot better. The CG foliage really looks like CG foliage in that shot of the river. And, I mean, I'm not even trying to judge it. Just the lighting looks off. It just doesn't look like a scene out of a Jurassic Park movie, I guess is my
It looks like
issue.
The Hobbit.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's...
kind of messy
Yeah.
CGI.
Yeah.
But not... It's not as bad as The Hobbit.
No, not as bad as The Hobbit. You don't have, like,
Yeah.
dwarves bouncing around in a barrel. I'm not saying the scene is ridiculous. I'm just questioning why it was CG when you... Even if maybe you could have made the jungle look more exotic with CG... Sometimes it just works better to work with what the Earth actually has to offer you for filming. It can just look a little bit more raw, a little bit more real. And I think that's something that we as Jurassic Park fans associate with the franchise.
Yeah, for sure. But I think...
It's off-putting
I think
to put in
one
a trailer.
thing the trailer didn't do as well. One thing the trailer didn't do for me was establish enough that it is not a remake. And we've discussed this. I'm pretty sure we've discussed this before. It's like you said. It's sort of... It relies on you thinking that you saw the last Jurassic Park a couple of years ago and this is just the next sequel, whereas they really needed to establish that this, you know, we made mistakes before, that we're trying again, or we're doing it again with better intentions, kind of thing. You know, I think they needed to establish that it's not a remake, it's actually a sequel. You know, to
absolutely.
Jurassic Park.
A lot of people...
And they could have done that by, you know, throwing in... I mean, the trailer's pretty nostalgic. Colin, like, recreates some scenes from the first Jurassic Park in the trailer, you know, shots. But I think they could have gone down a bit more of the nostalgic route for the first trailer. And I think it should have been like I wanted a teaser trailer, you know, something that
this
shows
is like
maybe
a first trailer type of thing.
Well, we were too late in the game for an authentic teaser trailer. Like that time
but
period.
I wanted one.
Oh, we all did. It should have happened around Comic-Con or sooner. I mean, look at Star Wars.
No. Godzilla, though, they had like a legit teaser around December before the May release. So I don't see why we didn't do that, or Universal didn't.
I'm amazed that they kind of threw that out there. I think if it was a teaser trailer, it would have had better reaction to some of the major sites that really kind of heavily criticized the trailer. I mean, the general consensus is a good trailer, but I think the fans are really hoping for more. Like, I know I am. I'm hoping the next trailer really gives more of that kind of you know what I'm trying to say, though. It's like not big blockbuster. Like, I want to see a thick forest, somebody running through a thick forest. You know, it was showing the park a bit, and I think it's too early. Oh, I don't know.
No,
I don't think the Moses scene should have been in it.
Nope.
Oh, I think the Moses scene should have been in it. I just think it should have been shown differently, and I think it should have been a quicker cut. I think it was like, especially when you saw this crowd get splashed afterwards, it was a little like it felt almost out of place, I guess. But
yeah, but that's what I mean. If because we pointed out how the visual effects in that scene, especially, they were not finished. I think if they hadn't shown that Moses scene and waited, it would have had an even greater impact when the CGI was done or near complete.
I feel like it's probably a big scene in the movie too. Why would you show that off in the trailer?
Yeah, it's a big money shot, but it's not your typical money shot. It's before things go to hell. It's more of a fun money shot. It's not your typical, like, oh, this is I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good example. It's not your typical T-Rex chasing the car type of money shot, or T-Rex breaking out of the fence. It's more
it's unique.
It's a very spoiler-free money shot. It was just kind of showing the park running. I think that was absolutely necessary, and you really can't wait to show things like that until the CG's completely finished. I think that it gives you some weird vibes. I mean, anytime you have a fake camera in a scene like that, so it starts out with it floating over the lagoon and flying over the monorail tracks. I mean, that's a CG camera. It's all animated in there. You're going to kind of get weird vibes, and since a lot of that wasn't anything real, it kind of gives you this immediate, like, typical Hollywood big CG blockbuster type of movie feeling.
Yeah.
They could have probably focused heavier on the actual shots from, like, that they filmed themselves authentically in the trailer and had a little bit of a better effect, especially following the CG gate, which received so much criticism that Colin took to Twitter to say, hey, don't worry, we made that only for the marketing. That's not actually in the movie. We filmed the movie with a real gate. That's
the problem is that not many regular movie fans will see that, and they'll just keep thinking, "Oh, that's just a CG gate." Lazy.
1% of the people are going to see that, and that's the thing. Yeah. A lot of people are going to look at that and they're going to go, I don't know what to think about this. This doesn't feel right to me.
It doesn't feel right.
Why include that?
It's great. I mean, it's a great shot if it was done. You know,
right?
Yeah.
It's like really cool, but
it feels.
It kind of didn't work.
No, it absolutely didn't work. Yeah, I really didn't like that shot. I mean, immediately, I think we talked about this quite a bit, even when we had the little 15-second teaser. It didn't work. I understand why they wanted it. It works for a trailer in the terms of the idea of seeing the gates open, and then you kind of have this great reveal of the park beyond it.
It makes the audience understand that this is Jurassic Park something or other.
And it has that dramatic reveal where, like, once again, the gates open and you have the park. Now, I'm guessing the real gates themselves, they probably don't open over the park. They might just be on a road for vehicles. They might not be for the monorail itself. And that might be why it existed in such a weird way, because they kind of maybe had a great idea of how to reveal it for the trailer. But if you're going to do that, you've got to be aware of what people will think about it. And it just, people weren't happy with how heavily bloated the trailer was with kind of CG and kind of these fantastical environments.
Yeah, because, I mean, you can't say that... I mean, Jurassic Park, the franchise, has never been CG heavy. I mean, obviously in the sense that the dinosaurs, they're obviously CGI half the time. But the sort of settings and the environments have never really been CG before. Exactly. And they've always relied on practical effects. And I think that's something that's obviously changed in modern, even since like 2001, when JP3 came out. It's changed since then. And we're going to see that change in Jurassic World, which I'm hesitant to kind of accept, but it's the way of Hollywood now.
I mean, whether it's the way of Hollywood doesn't mean it has to be that way, is the thing. I mean, there's no... honestly, Jurassic Park, they've used a lot of practical plates. They use CG to blend two plates together. So you might have, like, the foreground is one plate that they filmed and the background's another. And then they use CG to blend it together, but what you don't usually have are entire CG environments. And that's what we saw a lot of in the trailer. Well, not a lot of, but in two very big scenes. You saw these very... the reveal of the Mosasaur Stadium and the river scene. It was a very, very CG-heavy scene, and it just kind of felt odd and off-putting. And it just didn't feel like... It was a very bad way to show off the movie initially, especially.
What would have been important for me, I think what would have made the trailer better for me was more shots like the nighttime forest with the workers getting pulled into the forest. Like, flash onto that, flash out, flash into like something else like that. Some guy running towards a worker's jeep. Stuff like that.
Show people hint at the scale without actually revealing the scale.
Sorry, that's exactly what I would have done. I want to see the worker, running, holding onto his helmet as he runs towards like his jeep in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
He gets cut off by a raptor, or you don't know what he gets cut off by. Just that kind of typical high angle shot of a guy paused in the middle of a dirt road looking up.
They kind of had that with Hamada, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess he's gonna die now. Thanks for showing that off in the first trailer.
I don't think.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
What else could be above him? It's dripping blood.
Well,
but that shot wasn't. The shot for me was pretty cool, but it was so bright and daylight, and it felt like he was in like a resort. Well, he obviously was. He was in the park, but do you know what I mean? That shot, it wasn't as scary as it could have been.
I don't know.
Can I say something really controversial right now? This trailer does not feel Jurassic Park at all. I feel like it's trying its hardest to emulate a Jurassic Park feeling, but it's not hitting the mark.
I agree about the trailer. My biggest feeling about the trailer is I feel like it was born out of focus group testing, not the movie itself. Not the movie itself. I feel that trailer was kind of born out of bringing trailers to focus groups and saying, now, what do you like about this? What do you like about that?
So we can blame that little kid who first ever reviewed the trailer on YouTube. Do you remember that kid?
Yeah.
Ivan, or whatever his name was. We can blame him.
I feel...
fault, stupid kid.
I feel like the marketing department probably tried to really, like... this. It didn't feel like a trailer created by a director anymore. It felt like a trailer created by... like, kind of dumbed down for, like, that way everybody gets something that they want to see. Like, they want to say, oh,
that really worries
spectacle.
Me.
But that just
mashed it together.
Yeah, it sounds like they don't trust Colin's view. That really worries me. Just let him just take charge of the trailers. I'm pretty sure he knows what he's doing.
I mean, did he? We don't really know the full story. For all we know, he maybe he didn't want to do a trailer. Maybe he's so focused on doing the movie itself. But I mean, I will say, if you look at the Star Wars 7 trailer, that feels like a trailer born out of a director's hands. It's
that was all JJ and like
that's
it's very
a good
raw.
Trailer. As much as I'm not a fan of Star Wars, that trailer just hyped me up for something.
Yeah, it was a very raw, very well. Like it was mysterious. It showed a scale to the movie, but it really didn't reveal anything, which I really appreciated about it. It had better timing overall. The Jurassic World trailer is awkward. It sort of tries to do 10 different things at once, but never does any of them fully. And
this is so upsetting, trashing the trailer. It makes me feel so sad.
This is not what I want to be doing right now. I think, really, really want to love it, but there are few
You
problems.
You just can't love it.
It's just a few problems, isn't there?
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, if I'm being honest, I was looking forward to that trailer, but I didn't go in with crazy expectations, and yet I still kind of walked away from it feeling a little like it was okay. And you shouldn't walk away from that trailer. I mean, whether the movie's great, amazing, only okay, the first trailer itself really should have made a stronger impact. And when you've got bigger film websites and trades even talking about how the trailer itself was underwhelming and how the Super Bowl trailer better deliver, I mean,
you have a problem on your hands.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, you do.
And I mean, I think it's a fair point, and I bet you. I mean, I hope that Universal looked at it. And
I hope so.
And I think that we'll see a positive change from it. I also agree what you're saying earlier, Jack, about making it clear that it's not a remake. I think that they could have easily done something along the lines of, mentioning John Hammond's dream, Jurassic Park 22 years ago, etc. That way people are like, oh, okay, the park still exists. I mean, they could have simply had a few lines of dialogue that made it clear that this was a sequel. Now,
hey, you know what would have also been cool as well? I know it's super cliche, but like a Hammond voiceover from like the Lost World Trespasser game, or just a basic voiceover from Jurassic Park, where he just talks about and he wants the better park and stuff, and
that would have worked especially well.
It would have worked
for a teaser, especially.
It comes across as almost really cliche, but I just think actually people would have gone, this is so cool, because the footage is there. Like the D-Rex chasing Chris Pratt. That was epic, and the CG looked fantastic on that shot.
Yeah.
They needed to show more like that. The D-Rex enclosure is an actual enclosure.
Remember, it's not D-Rex anymore.
Sorry, Indominus Rex, which we've actually known for kind of months anyway.
Yeah, we
but
tweeted,
no one believed us.
I don't even know if anyone. I don't know if they didn't believe us or if they just didn't notice because
just didn't really pick up on it.
Yeah,
yeah. Indominus is not new, but pretty sure D-Rex Diabolus was only there for kind of to distract.
I don't think so. They probably changed the name, whether or not it was because it leaked, and they're like, well, let's change it. Or also
Indominus is better.
Indominus is, but also Diabolus, or Diabolus, however you want to pronounce it. It was like a dude who like had a satanic cult who went by that name, and he was apparently like pretty famous in the satanic cult circles. If you search Diabolus Rex, like he would come up all the time. Maybe Universal looked at that and they're like, yeah, we're gonna change the name.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a better name anyway. But I-Rex is worse than D-Rex. The abbreviation.
Yep.
I bet you they don't abbreviate it like that. They probably
that's
call
us
it
abbreviated.
Yeah, they probably call it the Indominus Rex. They probably call it the Indominus, or they probably call it the hybrid.
Yeah, they probably don't even name drop
hybrid,
it. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't.
I think we know it gets name dropped at least once.
Oh, what? I didn't know that.
Well, we know that. That's how we know.
Oh.
That's how we knew the name.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Asees, like, any other thoughts on the trailer?
There's a lot.
You guys pretty much summed it up perfectly already. I'll just say really quickly my thoughts. At the start, it was perfect, right? No flaws. I got upset when I read other people's reactions saying, "Oh, it sucks." But then after I watched it more and more, I started to see the faults and the flaws. And
the
now
initial
I'm like,
hype goes down, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, real quick, and then it's like, what happened with the trailer? It's not good.
Yeah,
that's my final opinion. Not good.
Yeah,
and it's a shame.
And that's something that when I saw the movie trailer in theaters, the biggest thing that struck me as it followed. I was watching The Hobbit in 3D, and I saw it because I knew that I would get the Jurassic World trailer in IMAX 3D.
Good call.
So right before the Jurassic World trailer came on, the Star Wars trailer came on, and one of the things that also struck me about that trailer was how good the sound mix was in theaters. Everything packed a punch. And watching the Jurassic World trailer, the sound mix was very underwhelming. It was very kind of quiet, and there was no roar. There was no punch in it. Like, the thing that I felt, it felt very lacking. It kind of just fizzled out. And knowing what the Jurassic Park T-Rex roar sounds like, they really should have put a strong roar in that trailer. Something that really, like, kind of, that gut-punching, like, sound in that trailer that really kind of amp you up. But it was just kind of...
that, man.
It was lacking, but I honestly, genuinely believe that we'll see I think the Super Bowl trailer was always going to show a bit more and probably be a little bit better. I don't want it to show the story, but maybe pick and choose the scenes it shows a little bit better. But I think, especially after the feedback from this first trailer, I think that they might kind of take a different approach and try to really kind of show the movie as it is. Oh, and the one other big criticism that a lot of people had was the dialogue in the trailer. They said it was cheesy. I don't necessarily think the dialogue itself is cheesy, but I think the trailer relied too heavily on one-liners. Like it was quick cuts of one-liners that definitely exist in every Jurassic Park movie, but that's all the trailer kind of fueled itself off of, was probably not a good idea.
Yeah, with more context, those one-liners and those lines, I imagine, are less kind of humorous and, you know, what kind of dinosaur you cooked up in that lab. It's like, without context, that kind
That's a great accent. I love it.
It would be bad. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited for the next trailer. And it's not long away, February 1st. Does anyone know the deal for, like, internationals who won't be... Well, actually, I'm going to be watching the Super Bowl, but, you know, for people who won't be watching the Super Bowl, who can't get a stream of it...
We will probably get the TV spot put online immediately by on YouTube.
And you think it's going to be a TV spot and not a full trailer?
Yeah, it's like $4.4 million for 30 seconds. So,
okay, but are you sure? Because, like, I know that full trailers always...
Yeah, Avengers threw up a full trailer, so does Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I mean, if Universal are really going for this film, they're going to spend the money, aren't they?
Did they put a full trailer during the Super Bowl itself? Or...
No, 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Full trailer online.
Yeah,
no, it says
absolutely.
TV spot for Jurassic World. On that list I've got, it says February 1st, Super Bowl, 6:30 EST, Universal/Legendary, and it says TV spot for Jurassic World.
So
that's what we're getting.
What you'll see is a TV spot, and it'll be an abbreviated version of the second trailer. And
it's going to be heavy
probably,
action, I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah, but...
And, you know, it's on its own as well.
And later that night, you'll probably get the full trailer on YouTube. Because that's the way they usually do it. The TV spot itself is a abbreviated cut of a trailer.
It's going to be mad, that TV spot. It's going to be mental.
Yeah,
it's not going to be a slow trailer. That's for
sure.
No,
I mean you can't afford to do a slow trailer, especially for the Super Bowl, because you really need to amp people up and hype them up. So
it's going to be bang 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 action.
It's going to be
action.
It's going to be shots like Pratt running away from the Indominus Rex. You know, things like that. I mean, you only saw its foot in the trailer, and I hope that they continue to only show little bits of it, like its feet or its hands. But it's going to be shots like that. You'll probably see the Velociraptors in daylight this time around, and I am hoping we see the T-Rex and probably Pteranodons.
I think everyone wants to see the T-Rex. I think that really is the thing we need to see next.
Yeah,
the Rex. I think we do. I don't want to see any new dinosaurs now. I just want to see the Rex back.
And an animatronic Velociraptor, please.
Yes.
That'll shut up so many people.
Which actually is interesting. So Colin, a couple of weeks ago, posted that tweet, the picture of Chris Pratt and the animatronic raptor. So this is the first official picture of the raptor we've got, right?
Now, yeah, exactly. Now we saw.
Thank you, Asees.
It's a beautiful raptor, and it's the first official picture of an animatronic. And what's also cool is it's a full body animatronic, not just a head.
So Colin tweeted this picture of the raptor, which is pretty cool. It's a cool animatronic, and it's a cool. And in the background of the picture, we can see there's a Jeep there. I'm pretty sure that's a Jeep.
Is that the Textron or is that the Mercedes G-Wagon?
It looks like the Textron one, the armored one, I think, but I don't know. And there's also Chris Pratt's bike up front there with a camera on it, which is pretty cool. So we may get some, almost POVs from Chris riding the bike, which I think would be pretty cool. It could be done well.
Yeah.
Hobbit. Reminds you of The Hobbit.
I feel like...
Really?
What?
That reminds you of The Hobbit with the stupid barrel scenes.
I think, if anything, what we'll see is a scene where they're in the control room looking at what he's looking at.
Maybe,
cool
direct
too.
feed.
Cool too,
kind of like the Lost World PlayStation game, where you have the little introductions and you got that one with the raptor. The guy's running through the forest. You ever seen that?
I don't.
I've not played that.
It's amazing, I don't remember dude. It's so good. And he's like getting chased by raptors, and he can see it on his little GPS sensor that they're enclosing on him, and he's on the radio.
Oh man,
where do I go? It's so good. It's freaky.
So
that's
what. Who was it? Was it like one of the editors of Entertainment Weekly, or it was one of them, and they said that he believes that raptor's name is Blue.
And he touched it apparently on the set.
Yeah, he said he believes that one goes by the name of Blue,
But wait, wasn't that the guy for Entertainment Weekly, or was it Empire? And they said there's going to be. I was on set, and there's going to be a huge magazine in Empire, a huge write-up, and there was nothing new in the magazine.
I think it's for later on, for one of the later on issues.
I mean, I asked him for clarity before the article even went out. He's like, no, it's going to be something small. He's like, there's going to be exclusive quotes. It's going to be something small. He's like, our real set visit is going to happen. He's like, we're going to have a real big blowout in a few months, basically. Like it's still too early for the blowout article. But
okay, fine. But I think it's interesting to note as well now that posters and stuff are beginning to show up in cinemas. We've been retweeting your pictures of your selfies in front of the posters, which is pretty cool. And is it Asees workers are also getting like Jurassic World shirts and stuff?
Yeah,
like that?
Did you get?
We
your
didn't
shirts?
get any at our theater, unfortunately.
Oh,
I think Regal Cinemas has it. And
a lot
we don't
of
have Regal in Canada. I don't think
a lot of my local theaters, at least the Cinemarks, got their shirts, and they're
Cinemark, not Regal,
and they are wearing them. They are wearing.
I want a shirt, man. I want a shirt.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to get in. I don't know. I'll have to work some magic. I'm gonna have to really start making some theater going friends. Some theater.
I think we're
friends.
gonna get some Coke products at our theater, which is pretty sweet.
Coke,
cups or something. Hopefully, we don't blow our budgets before that, but let's hope we get some.
Yeah.
So we've got the posters arriving in cinemas. So it's finally beginning to be advertised. And the other thing is
fruit snacks.
The Kellogg's
fruit snacks.
Yeah, somebody lead us into that, man.
Oh well, fruit snacks. You see what they are? They're these little gummy objects that are sweet and probably made primarily out of sugar. Horrible for you. They don't even taste like fruit, but they do tell you they do.
Oh yeah.
Wait, they're not fruit? Oh my god!
I know. Mine's blown.
What a revelation.
Yeah, they're showing up everywhere. They're Jurassic World branded Kellogg's fruit snacks, and they're showing up all over the states now.
In theory, available in February.
February 1st. February 1st is the first day that they're supposed to be available. And given the fact that on the cover of the box is a T-Rex and on the packaging is the pack of Velociraptors, that's why I feel pretty confident that the Super Bowl trailer will show the T-Rex and the Velociraptors in daylight because they're right there on the packaging. So I think that the fact that Owen's Raptor pack is there on the packaging in daylight with all their different color schemes revealed, I think we're going to see them in the trailer.
For sure.
And,
I have a question before we continue. Do we think that those 4 raptors are the only 4 raptors in the movie?
I don't know. I mean, if there's wild raptors, I guess we'll see more. And then the question is, what colors?
Wild raptors.
Absolutely. And then what color scheme would the wild raptors have?
Old brown
original
ones.
New Blood.
The poop colors.
It would be kind of.
Yeah.
It would be cool if the females were brown, and then the males were sort of Lost World inspired. I mean, I won't lie. I don't like the Lost World raptors.
Oh, what? I love it.
Jack takes offense to that.
They looked good in CG for me in the movie, but the animatronics were severely lacking in detail, and they looked very fake to me in the Lost World. Like the paint scheme was nowhere near as detailed as the original movie's paint scheme.
The paint scheme in the first movie made me think the raptors were covered in shit as a kid.
They were like gray. That was the color. That was the color correction. It was grayish brown. I could pull up a picture and show you that it was actually really surprising.
They literally looked like poo.
Hold on, you're gonna be interested in this.
I hated the raptors as a kid.
Oh, I love them,
dude.
No, I in the kitchen scene, overrated.
So you must love the Lost World raptors because they weren't.
Oh no, that and the Jurassic Park 3 raptors are the best looking raptors. The male one's the best.
How
one,
do you
and
not like the
Raptors
kitchen
Lost
scene?
World second.
How do you not like the kitchen scene? Hold on, I'm going to send you guys a picture, and it's of the original Jurassic Park Velociraptor, and you're going to be surprised at how colorful it was.
Does it still look like poo though?
No, not at all. It looks a little bit.
I guess
it looks like a more realistic version of the Lost World Raptors. Like it looks like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's nice, more natural.
Yeah, it's more natural than I like that color scheme a lot. Now, given with the color correction that happens in the movie, you lose all of the orange, so it looks like it's kind of like a monotonish ground gray. But
yeah,
brown.
No, I see it. I think we're going to see wild raptors. I really think a lot of the movie is going to take place in the old park, not necessarily in front of loads of old, the old gates and stuff. I just think end up spending a lot of time
section?
past that. Yeah, in the restricted zone.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to happen because like in
maybe that's
in
where the
Lost World
Indominus runs to.
Yeah, maybe, and then they have to send Chris Pratt out there and stuff. I think that's what's going to happen, and if that's the case, I really think we're going to see original Raptors. They wouldn't just have the restricted zone, There's something in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it isn't the Indominus Rex. That's gone in there, maybe.
Yeah.
I really think there's a big threat in there, and obviously it's the biggest threat of Jurassic Park is Raptors, Dilophosaurus, something.
Brachiosaur. Biggest threat.
Biggest threat.
That's the biggest threat because it just tramples everything.
Boom.
Yeah, I mean, literally the biggest threat.
Yeah.
I think the thing about that as well is you remember in the Jurassic Park novel where the whole the two kids and Alan Grant are like in those restricted zones, and he's figuring out the sensors that kind of censor the dinosaurs and the different animals and stuff. I kind of feel like it would be like that in the way that they're kind of trying to sneak through this restricted zone, but they just keep getting caught out.
Oh, I got it. You know what this movie feels like? It feels like not a Jurassic Park sequel per se, but a sequel to the original novel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It kind of feels like that.
And it feels like a Michael Crichton novel, and necessarily doesn't feel like a Jurassic Park Michael Crichton novel. Is the feeling.
It's weird.
Like,
it's weird.
Even the concept of Indominus Rex, it feels very Michael Crichton. Doesn't necessarily feel very Jurassic Park. But it does make sense.
Yeah,
but
didn't Rick Carter even say, like, after the first few years of this park being successful, eventually they were going to start, like, experimenting with things anyways?
Yeah,
so it was going to happen anyways. So.
Yeah, I mean, and we could talk about possible story implications in a little bit when we talk about, like, the Masrani Corp stuff. But, like, there's... I mean, I think that we'll probably see a lot of the old park. I hope it will be probably really cool. I mean... It's very possible that Nick and Ty, or Gray and Zach in the movie, end up there because we see that they end up running through the forest. And look, we see them in the gyrosphere, and then later on we see the gyrosphere is wrecked. Assuming that's their gyrosphere because we see them running through a forest and jump into water later on, we can maybe even assume that they end up in the restricted zone somehow, and maybe that's. Between them and the Indominus Rex being there, we have our hero characters kind of forced to go up there and retrieve them and try to solve.
I think that's the general consensus, really. And I think what also might back that up is obviously we posted a couple of weeks on the 30th of December. We posted an exclusive bit of Lego Jurassic World information, which includes a list of Lego sets that are going to be released with the film. And there's a Dilophosaurus set, Dilophosaurus Ambush, which sometimes, toy lines do make things up and they change from what's going to be in the film.
Especially Lego. Lego tends to do that pretty strongly.
Yeah. But I think, obviously, we know Jurassic World haven't bred a Dilophosaurus, but is the original... Is he still hanging around?
Or you know what? It could easily have been also the from the first movies. It could be like a vintage set or something of Nedry in the first Velociraptor.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think so.
It doesn't have to be.
I don't think that they're gonna. I think they're gonna keep everything Jurassic World in the Lego set. From what I understand, everything will be Jurassic World this time around. So I mean, that doesn't mean the dinosaur itself exists in the movie, but it's theoretically a Jurassic World set.
Okay, but it's worth. They mentioned that obviously. Does that mean
I would love to see the Dilophosaurus, and I know a lot of other people would
everyone
as well.
would. Yeah,
yeah,
it's everyone's favorite.
It's a fantastic dinosaur. It's such a, and we haven't seen it since the first movie, and everyone's really begging for it to come back. And there's the perfect way to bring it back is have it as a surprise appearance up there in the northern section of the island. I think that's the north.
And another piece from the Lego set as well is Raptor Escape. It's a set called Raptor Escape.
Honestly,
which could mean anything.
Once again,
it could just.
They tend to take huge creative liberties with the sets to kind of.
No, they do.
To avoid spoilers. So they kind of okay, so there's going to be a scene with raptors, but we've seen in the trailer that they're let out of their cages and we see them running alongside Chris Pratt. I wouldn't be surprised if that's quote unquote the Raptor Escape set. And then it's it's up to you to you kind of have this fictional version of the movie in the set itself, but then if you want to, you can recreate the actual happenings in the movie once you actually know what happens. That tends to be the way Lego does it. They're usually very spoiler sensitive. If you don't know what I'm talking about, take a look at their Iron Man 3 sets. Iron Man 3 spoilers coming up right now. But in
For
Iron
anyone
Man,
who cares.
yeah, in Iron Man 3, they pegged the Mandarin as the bad guy, and it turns out he wasn't at all. But he was a fake bad guy. He was literally like an actor hired to play a bad guy. And in all the
God,
sets,
that movie is so poop.
And in all the sets, the Mandarin was the bad guy, like driving these crazy vehicles and everything like that. So that goes to show you, to avoid spoilers, they will take crazy creative liberties.
That's good, at least.
And
yeah, it's good to know. But obviously, I think when we posted that, Dilophosaurus was just on everyone's mind.
Oh, yeah.
So I really hope it does make an appearance. And I have a feeling we'll see the Dilophosaurus. I don't know for sure.
I hope so.
I really assume that if Colin was going to bring back anything, he's going to bring back that.
Yeah, I really...
He knows the fans want that back. It's such an awesome dinosaur, and it's not scientifically accurate at all, but it's fun. It's an awesome
cool
dinosaur.
Yeah.
It'll be sitting there in the visitor center sipping its tea, and then
Yeah,
the kids will
some
stumble
people
upon him.
come along. He's like, "Really? Again? All right, fine."
And,
Back to work.
and we know that
Love.
original dinosaurs from the island survived. When you look at the Mark
Yeah.
Englert poster, you see them collecting dinosaurs from the island. You see raptors watching the construction of the island. Obviously, wild raptors. We see a nest there. They were breeding. That implies that they were alive. Honestly, they're probably still in that section of the island. We also know that the T-Rex in the movie is our original T-Rex from the first movie, because she has the scars all over her body.
Thanks to the website.
Yeah.
That's the most exciting thing I've seen dinosaur-related so far.
JurassicWorld.com,
Agreed.
They're revealing a ton of information. That website's awesome. It makes it like it's a real park, and it's the real park's website. It shows off a lot.
It's fun. It's really fun.
It's unlocking more as it goes along. It's showing off the dinosaurs with 3D renders, giving some cool facts about them. It's exciting.
Definitely check it out. And they've got some CGI renders on there for sure. CG renders of the dinosaurs, which aren't incredible.
Yeah, I wouldn't call
they're
them
good to look
CG. They're more like marketing materials, so like things that you put on like a toy package. You can tell they're based off of the CG models, but you could tell they severely kind of brought the quality down and made it like a little bit more playful in terms of the way it looks is the best way. Less detail, a little bit goofier looking, but
Cartoony,
yeah, like it's not cartoony.
More kid-friendly.
Yeah, it's not cartoony in a traditional sense, but yeah, they took them and made them a little bit more kid-friendly, is the best way I could say it. They look realistic, but they don't look realistic.
Speaking of websites, let's hit up Masrani Corp real quick. Yeah?
Let's do it.
MasraniGlobal.com. It's a fantastic website, a viral website that Universal is doing. And it's got a ton of information detailing Masrani Corp. We did a write-up, or I wrote a write-up on our website when the website itself launched. There's been some updates since then. But essentially, for those who don't know, Masrani Global is a company that bought out Engine after John Hammond died in, 1998? So,
Yeah, 98 it said, yeah.
So John Hammond died in 1998, and Masrani Global bought Engine out. Now, Masrani himself, Simon Masrani, took over the company from his father, Sanjay Masrani, and I believe Sanjay and John Hammond were friends. So it wasn't like a hostile takeover. They were kind of longtime friends and partners. Simon Masrani himself, he's kind of a big oil giant. Like, that's how he got started, and then he branched off into other things, taking over Engine, and they decided to go back into the Jurassic Park project. So in the year 2001, they went to Isla Nublar. They hired Dr. Henry Wu back, as well as a lot of other key scientists, and they went to Isla Nublar to start cleaning it up. And they basically started construction on Jurassic World, securing the island, constructing the park, and creating quarantine zones, which we know is the northern section of the island. And I believe the park opened then in 2005. And the globe at that point knew about this. It wasn't a big secret. As soon as they went to Isla Nublar, at that point the world knew about Jurassic Park, and they were just waiting for it to fail, as the website goes into details about. And there's just a lot of information on that website. What's anything stand out to you guys? There's a few hints in the story. A few hints about Jurassic World's story for sure, I believe.
I think what's more exciting for me is learning about the island and what happened to it after
That's
Jurassic Park.
the biggest thing,
learned,
I think.
Yeah, we've learned from the website that Dr. Henry Wu went back to the island in '94 and catalogued all the dinosaurs And
The
it
Wu
was part
flower
of-
as well, which is like the first sign of genetic tampering, I guess.
Yeah.
More genetic tampering.
And he wrote a novel. He wrote a book based on what he saw in '94 in the island about the cleanup. It says, and that would be awesome. Imagine if they.
I want to read that book.
I want to read that book, man. Imagine if they released
That would be really,
oh,
really
dude, that's
cool.
perfect.
That's some serious history right there. I bet Colin's got all this history.
Oh,
I
yeah.
bet he planned it all out.
Absolutely.
I want to read that book so bad now.
Yeah.
Jesus, give me
And-
that book ASAP.
And I mean,
But that's cool. That was my favorite part of the website. Was learning about the history of the island.
yeah,
Same.
I was especially excited to hear about them going back to the island in 2001 and kind of cleaning up the island, quote unquote, like securing this dinosaur-infested island and building a new park on it, because that sounds like it was. Now, obviously, the website says, and we did it without any issues, but I mean, in all reality, probably.
They're not gonna write. Yeah, we
Yeah.
lost 4 guys. To
Yo,
dinosaurs.
yeah, it was probably living hell, to be perfectly honest. It was probably
Yeah.
incredible. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the movie itself maybe even touches on that. And it shows you that they're trying to put on this pretty face, but they're kind of like brushing things under the rug. There's no doubt about it that things are being brushed underneath the carpet. To
I
kind of
really hope we see some cleanup / building construction of Jurassic World. I really hope we do. God, that'd be so sick. In the opening, like 5-10 minutes, I think it's a must.
Oh,
Show
yeah.
Henry Wu back on the island.
it would be a
Yeah.
it would be a great way to kind of set the feel for the movies, for especially for the. I mean, as fans, we just want to see it, but then for the general audience, they kind of need to see it because it would show them. Oh, look, here's the ruins of Jurassic Park. Oh, look, they're built. Okay, wait, this is a sequel to the first movie. It would help everything click for people, and then it could be something like
Yeah, it
10.
would.
And then it could be something like 10 years later or 15 years later, and then
But seriously,
it
for the-
kind of sets the tone. That way, you know
Yeah.
the park's been open for a while.
So yeah, the Masrani site is epic. It's a great site, and I want Wu's novel. I want his book. I think that would be so perfect for fans. Like even Cabin in the Woods, they had this this behind the scenes book that showed you all the kind of the whole universe behind Cabin in the Woods. And it showed you all the monsters and all the plans that could have happened to the guys in the cabin. Something like that for Jurassic World would just be amazing, because clearly
Oh yeah,
it's all there.
Oh.
The information is all there. Colin has mapped it from 93 to 2015.
honestly, I mean, yeah, I would love to see. I would love to see some telling of the story that's happened before then. If it's not in the movie itself, perhaps a comic, a novelization, a cartoon.
Video game.
Oh my god, good segue, Asees.
Well, wait, hold on. There's a few things. There's something major I want to touch on though,
Alright, I'll segue again in a bit. I'll find a new
Yeah.
segue.
Yeah, do it, man.
because I mean there was a big update on Masrani Global today.
Oh yeah, we can't miss
Sorry.
this. We can't miss this.
Yeah,
This is
how
huge.
did we miss that?
Yeah.
How did we miss that? It's on my list as well.
Masrani Global's update today really sets a kind of a scary picture for Engine itself. Engine is a world leader in private security. Now, does that
Why
strike
is that
anyone?
scary?
They're a genetics company. They're making hybridized dinosaurs.
Bioweapons.
Bioweapons.
Velociraptors with guns. It's
I
happening. It's
I
happening.
don't think we're going to see velociraptors with guns. I think that I wouldn't be surprised if
You
they're
heard it here first.
bioweapons, though. Bioweapons, the hybrid. The hybrid itself isn't a hybrid just to be a hybrid for the park.
It's a bioweapon.
No, the hybrid itself isn't the bioweapon. It's just
Aw.
it's testing theories. It's a way to get funding. It's probably testing to see what they can do with genetics and what they can create. The fact that Engine is a big leader in private security kind of paints a little bit of an uglier picture, because it really makes you question their motives as a whole. Like some of the people that work at Jurassic World, they're probably only for the dinosaurs. But like what does Masrani Global and what are Engine planning? Like, do they have bigger, plans? Are they selling their technologies to the military? Are they using their genetics to create new military projects like bioweapons? I think that that's what we're really going to see.
Holy shit, that's
I think
terrific.
that's the feeling I got from today's update. Like, it was kind of like, I'm like, oh shit, this is.
We could
this
see
is-
those in the sequels too, which is probably where they want to
Yeah, and so with the fact that quote unquote, let's see, CEO Simon Masrani has announced a boost of $225 million over the next 3 years to subsidiary Engine. Funds are allocated to further support Engine's private security division, which has become a world leader specializing in peacekeeping, drone operation, and contingency services.
Jesus.
Oh.
And then there's a quote from Vic Hoskins, who we can reveal is being played by Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah.
And Vic Hoskins is the head of security operations for Engine. And then he kind of basically goes on to saying that our job on Nublar is to work with the asset containment and park staff to ensure a safe environment for the millions of people who visit every year. And basically he kind of goes on to talk about how the security is very important. But honestly, I think that it paints a very interesting picture. I mean, do you think that we're going to see that kind of ethical line being crossed with the movie?
Yeah, well, we initially thought that that Vincent's character would be the sort of almost like the Nedry type, didn't we?
Yeah.
The kind of betraying the inside the corporations.
Yeah.
Guy who screws up, but
it might just be his selfishness. He just might be seedy and gross. Like he might be selling. He just might have more of a military. Like he might be selling to the military, like these private security organizations. He might just be selling, things along those lines. Like his.
Yeah, obviously, Chris Pratt and him their characters are gonna clash. That's so obvious. And I think also the fact that it's what does it say in peacekeeping, drone operation, and blah blah blah. I think the drone operation especially is so relevant in today's the US government, what they're doing with drones and stuff. I think it's so relevant.
Social commentary is real in this movie.
Oh,
it really is,
absolutely. And but I don't think it's any mistake that this is part of the viral marketing. I think they're really trying. Viral marketing, they tend to plant those seeds in your head. And I honestly think the fact that Engine is a world leader in private security and peacekeeping, quote unquote. Like, I mean, the fact that they are a biotechnology company, there's no way that their dinosaurs are completely separate from that. Or, I mean, their dinosaurs might be separate from it, but their ability to clone and manipulate genetics, that absolutely is somehow it's feeding into their private security division, or they have plans for it too. And I wouldn't be surprised if Vincent D'Onofrio's character himself is the epicenter of that. And speaking of epicenters, do you guys remember how in the trailer we saw that they were looking at an oncoming storm?
Ooh, yeah. Supposedly what we think
is a storm, and then the fact that one of the websites on Masrani Global mentions that they have a storm tracking satellite. Yeah. I was giving it some thought. What if the storm doesn't do anything to screw up the island? It doesn't knock out the power. It doesn't do anything like that. What if it's the reason why the visitors can't evacuate the island? What if it's the reason why people are stuck on the island when things go to hell? Because there's a giant storm and you can't get off the island. Basically, they're like, well, we can't evacuate the island. There's a hurricane. We can't bring in helicopters. We can't bring in boats. There's a hurricane. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like that happen. I was giving it some thought. I'm like, oh shit, maybe that's why it's important.
Maybe. That's a good thought, actually. And a scary thought.
Yeah, because it just kind of paints that, like, oh, they messed up, like, type of idea. It's like, you're on an island and you can't get off of it because of a storm, and the island's just gone to hell.
Yeah. Okay. So the website's pretty exciting. I think the other thing we should mention before we segue is the Mercedes-Benz and the whole collaboration there, which was yesterday's post, which was very exciting.
Yeah, and that actually came out from I was able to do some tracking. It came out from a press release straight from Mercedes-Benz themselves.
Right.
And they tweeted about it on their official Twitter, actually.
I saw they did. Pretty cool. Basically, it was just detailing the Mercedes partnership with Universal for the Jurassic franchise, which obviously we've seen before in The Lost World. The Lost World has, in my opinion, some of the best vehicles in the franchise, and I'm hoping
it has some cool ones. I hated how spray painted they looked in Lost World. They literally, like, it was kind of like. It kind of reminds me like when the guy down the street tries to make their car look like a camouflage car, and they get the spray paint cans, and it's like too bright green and too dark brown, and you're like,
nah, man, I just liked it. I thought it worked great, and Eddie was rushed onto the island,
Yeah, I still like
it.
the original Jurassic Park Jeep the best. That's probably like the most iconic film vehicle I can think of. More than the Batmobile for me, for sure. The Jurassic Park Jeep, that red the red Jurassic Park Jeep, and I guess the Ford Explorer as well.
Yeah, but yeah, the article just sort of details the partnership they have and the new vehicle. What's it called? It was made almost especially for Jurassic World. Am I right?
Well, the movie, the vehicle itself wasn't made especially for Jurassic World, but they had to bring a working version out a year and a half early. Like they had to make a prototype version especially for Jurassic World.
Cool.
And it is. But it's the new GLE Coupe. Specifically, hold on, I have it. It's the 2016. I wrote this article. I know I have it in here somewhere.
Oh, 2016. Only it was unveiled in December.
Yeah, it's the 2016. Where the hell is it? I wrote this thing. Where is it? GLE Coupe, diverse lineup, Mercedes.
It's at the bottom there, Chris.
I'm just gonna go buy one before the movie starts. No big deal.
Yeah, that would be sweet, man. I'd love.
Oh, it's a 2016 GLE 450 AMG Sport.
Yeah.
So that just it's not a mouthful or anything like that. But it's a really nice looking car. I mean, it's a car. It's not a park vehicle. It's Bryce Dallas Howard's vehicle.
Yeah, I think what I was going to say is the first picture that was posted was Frank Marshall, producer, and Colin Trevorrow, the director, sort of admiring. Looks like they're kind of directing the car. It's a pretty cool picture. It's the first picture, other than Frank Marshall's selfie, of him actually on set, which is something I've really been wanting to see, a picture of Frank and Colin together.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's in front of the D-Rex enclosure, which just looks so Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it's a cool picture.
They are at Jurassic Park there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the car, you can see someone in the front of the car, and it looks like Bryce, and obviously she's driven it to Pratt, so she's driving it in the movie, which is just some serious sponsorship going on.
Product placement's gonna be a bitch in this
Product
movie.
placement is going to be a bitch, but I hope it's not too distracting, man. Like that, that shot of Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, and now Owen Shack, and now we have a new angle of it. And there's a Mercedes in the background. It doesn't.
And it's like a Coke bottle on the freaking picnic table as well.
Yeah,
God damn it!
Just, do you know what I mean? Like with the Mercedes in the background, it makes the picture look funny.
The Mercedes looks very clean, but I don't think it's going to look that striking if we see her drive it from the park itself. I mean, would that really look like that weird on an employee road back there, or within the park itself? Not necessarily. She's an executive, so of course.
The car fits though. I think it fits.
It fits her character, and it turns out the car actually is built. Even though it doesn't look like an off-roading vehicle, it's built with off-roading capabilities. So it's a car that looks like your typical kind of like beautiful Mercedes car, but it's actually built for off-roading. So I think
she can get around the park with no trouble, basically.
Exactly.
In style, not to dirty her white dress thing that she's wearing. I just hope the car gets destroyed very early on. That would be cool.
I mean, we'll definitely see some cars get destroyed. I mean, even in the press release that Mercedes put out, they basically said that there was a ton of secrecy, and it was difficult because they had they really had to deal with filming out there in Hawaii. They said, driving the car through the jungles of Hawaii and driving it through on the Louisiana sets, and they're like, but we didn't reveal this car, until December. So I mean, and that's true. We've seen a lot of the other vehicles leak out, but we never saw this one. We didn't know it existed until they put out that press release. So they did a good job keeping this movie hidden. This hidden within the movie itself from eager eyes.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see Mercedes-Benz back. I love their vehicles. It's very expensive compared to getting an old Wrangler.
Yeah,
it's a premium car though for a premium park.
Absolutely.
Yeah, premium.
And at the end of the press release itself, it says that Mercedes-Benz is going to have an extensive cross-promotion program with Jurassic World as the time goes on. So I wouldn't be surprised,
which is great.
If we see kind of commercials of like someone driving the car through like the landscape of Hawaii, and then at the end it's like, and catch the Mercedes Coupe, etc., in Jurassic World this summer.
Or being chased by like a Velociraptor or a Rex.
And I'm sure they'll have some sort of contest where it's like, you can win a Mercedes and go to the world premiere of Jurassic World, etc. Things along those lines.
Jesus.
I mean, it's probably
victory.
They're probably gonna have a lot of things going on like that, which is fun. I mean, it's a big movie, and they're treating it like a big movie.
You need it. It's there. Speaking of cars, Ross, where we can see cars? video games.
Oh yeah, nice segue,
That
bro.
was maybe not as nice as the last one, but
I know. But,
Oh no, it worked. It did the job. I'm excited about
Oh,
games.
God.
I was honestly thinking about the other night. I think what I'm going to do is we're going to do a competition on our website, on our forum, where you can design and send in your own PS4, Xbox One, PC game cover for the perfect JP game, the game you want to see that's released after this movie, before this movie, the ideal Jurassic Park video game, the one we've never got, not Operation Genesis, one that's like survival, something we've not seen.
Not Jurassic Park the game either. That piece of crap, interactive.
Yeah,
movie.
people don't like that. I've got a very distinct idea in my head of what I want to play.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like Alien Isolation meets Grand Theft Auto meets I don't know, something. But meets JP Survival, the game that never got released.
I feel like if this movie just kicks ass, as I think it will, I think we're in for like a nice resurgence of dinosaur video games and hopefully a Jurassic Park game. Hopefully.
I mean,
come on.
games are for sure being made. We know that.
Well, like the Lego game and stuff.
Yeah,
but
there are
But
probably
I'm not
there are definitely other games in talks. I mean, there's no question.
But that's it. What I want to know, dude. Like, why isn't, out of all the leaks we're getting, why are the games not leaking? What? Because
probably not worth leaking because the movie-based video games usually suck unless unless a premium developer gets like the IP to work with.
Yeah, I mean,
what do you think's going to happen? Are we going to get a tie-in game?
Yeah,
or do you
that's
think
going
we're
to
gonna
suck
get...
ass, and then people are going to be.
Do you
wishing
think
we
we're going to
didn't
get tie-in
Well,
games?
the only thing that's been officially announced so far is there's that game for iOS and Android called Jurassic Park Builder, and they announced that they're doing a Jurassic World Builder.
Yeah, Lydia's doing that again.
Yeah,
it's
so
probably going to be free to play.
Yeah, it's going to be another
$100
freemium.
bucks and shit.
I mean, it's a good game, Jurassic
It's
Park.
going to be
Builder. I
another
love it.
freemium dinosaur spanking
I hate
simulator.
freemium, yeah.
You tap those dinosaurs and you get money. So it's a dinosaur
You need to
spanking.
wait
I'm fine
24
with that,
hours
dude.
for
I'm
that
fine with
one fence to be built or that one egg to hatch or something stupid.
Oh yeah, but it's good. It's a fun.
I
game.
haven't dropped a penny into it, so I mean,
Don't. It's not worth it.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean-
it was worth it.
I've spent too much money. on that
I
game.
haven't
I'll
dropped
admit that.
I haven't dropped a penny into it. I'll occasionally pick it up and have a little bit of fun. It was fun early on when the wait times weren't incredibly long.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
I would
sure.
rather spend $2 and have to buy the game and have it play like a traditional video game than have it in the
Oh, but
free.
they make more money freemium way,
Oh yeah, absolutely. But
which
I mean,
sucks.
I don't know. I mean, the fact that there's a movie tied to the new one, though, it might be a little less headache-inducing. Like, they might want to make it a little bit more attractive for long-term players.
Yeah, we'll see.
But that's what I mean. What do you think's going to happen? Do you think we're going to get a tie-in and then another game, or?
I mean, I think the idea is to resurrect Jurassic Park as a franchise. So, if everything goes according to plan and everything's successful, I think there's a long-term roadmap in place, and they're probably talking with developers and talking about potential ideas, prequels, sequels, spin-offs, etc. I'm sure it's all being considered. I'm sure things
would be
are probably
really
in
good for a
development.
Jurassic Park video game. The guys who did that Primal Carnage thing.
Nah,
Yeah.
it's an okay game.
Why not? They got the dinosaur stuff right on. I'm sure they can do
Yeah.
some story stuff
Honestly,
with the help of another developer.
If you want to play a game that has some good animal AI, try out Far Cry 4.
Oh, I'm playing Far Cry 4. It's pretty
Yeah,
top notch.
Yeah, that's got a really good open world setup, plus really good animal AI. But the problem is, Jurassic Park's never been about killing dinosaurs. And I don't think we're going to see a game about gunning down dinosaurs, a realistic looking game about gunning down dinosaurs.
No, I want The Last of Us on Jurassic Park.
I want, honestly, Alien Isolation. I mean, if you know
Yeah,
that game,
I want that.
There's only one alien in the game. It's about evading it the entire game. It's about surviving alongside it. Obviously it can't be one for one like that game, but there's a lot of concepts in that game that could probably be applied to the Jurassic Park license in a really good way. I mean, imagine the raptors in the kitchen scene with a gameplay sequence like Alien Isolation.
Oh, that'd work. That'd be perfect. That's
Yeah,
a
where you
perfect
have to
game,
evade
yeah.
and I don't know. It could be pretty cool.
But I mean, that's it, man. We haven't had a good Jurassic game in a very long time.
Ever.
I
guess
you know, I really
Genesis.
what I'm really
Operation
excited for
Genesis.
right now, because we've seen a trailer, we've seen things from the movie. We have a date for the release. I'm fine waiting now. the thing I want to see is video games. I want to see, because we've got all these fan games. They're great. Like Aftermath is fantastic, but that's just one guy developing it for himself.
What's JP Aftermath? I don't know what that is.
It's a fan-made mod, game built on the Crysis engine. But he's creating some honestly, it's amazing. But he said himself, it's just him developing it. He doesn't know if he's going to release it. That was the last thing I saw.
Wow.
He's just building an awesome park. Like, take a look at that Facebook page. He's just constructing the island as it should be. It's like Trespasser. But will it get finished? There's been hundreds of these mods.
All these ever.
None of the fan mods are ever released. They're
ever finished, and they get better each time. And then someone stops. I'm not saying this guy's going to stop. If I'd love to have him on the podcast and chat with him about it and stuff. But yeah, I want a real game. I want a Jurassic Park game.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely.
I want a movie tie-in because I've never enjoyed a movie tie-in.
You're not going to get a good one with Jurassic Park.
No,
I promise
but
you that.
you never know. Like, what if it's I don't know. What if they get was it Naughty Dog who did?
They would never. They need years and years of development from.
I know, but
you'll never get a developer like that because they're a first-party developer and they only develop their own original IPs. But you might get a. I mean, out of all honesty, it's like either Ubisoft, Activision, or EA. One of those three studios would be one of those three publishing studios would pick up the license.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you remember who did Operation Genesis? Because it's possible.
They're not
Blue
around.
No,
Vivendi or something?
but who did the? Oh, was it
Vivendi? I think it was Vivendi Universal or something stupid like that.
Vivendi, yeah.
Okay,
they're not around. I don't think.
So
Yeah, Creative Assembly. They did Alien Isolation. They can easily do a Jurassic Park game, right?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what they have on their plates, but also that game probably took some time to make.
What's the company?
Creative Assembly.
Creative Assembly.
Yeah.
Never heard of them. No, I think it needs to happen. I think if anyone's listening and has any info on a Jurassic World game, needs to really get in touch with us. I don't know if there is any at the moment.
Oh yeah, there are. I mean, we've heard little bits here and there. We know Hasbro has something planned, like
Lego too.
Yeah, but I don't want a Lego. Well, I don't care about the Lego game.
That's not Lego.
No,
not the Lego. We know Hasbro has something planned. I mean, I don't know if it will happen, but they have. Have you heard of? This isn't what you want, but we know it exists. Sort of like Angry Birds Telepods or Skylanders or something like that.
Yeah, no, not interested, but cool.
Like it'll be something that kind of like if you buy the toys, you might get a tie-in. That if you play,
no, I don't care about that at this point. I want a video game, a real one.
Well, if we want a real video game that's actually good, it'll probably come out about a year after the movie, which is fine.
Cool, but I want to be hearing about it now.
Well.
There's a lack of dinosaur games on the market.
Oh,
Turok,
absolutely.
The last Turok wasn't very good. Everything that they've attempted, like even the indie ones, the Stomping Land, and it got bad reviews. It just wasn't. People aren't up for that. Jurassic Park is dinosaurs. Man.
Yeah.
When people think dinosaur movies, they think Jurassic
Park.
Oh yeah,
it's
dinosaur games. Jurassic Park, man.
I think that we will see something. I think that we will see. I mean, but it's too early to talk about it right now. I mean, we barely.
I don't want it to be too early. I want to talk about it right
now.
They
barely started talking about the movie itself. I mean, we've only had one trailer. I honestly think that we'll probably see something talked about or advertised at E3 beyond the Lego game. I think that we'll see the Lego game at E3, but I think we'll see something else as well. Because out of
when is E3?
E3, what is it? Let me think.
June.
Is it June
16th?
There we go.
Oh, dude! If they show something, then I'm just gonna. Oh, it's gonna be amazing.
So I mean, and that's a few days after the movie comes out, which is
okay. Well, that's exciting. If they show something there, which I pray they do,
we'll probably hear something before then. I think that Lego might talk about it before then. Then I don't know if we'll see it, but they probably will talk about it. And we're definitely going to see like all the extended marketing gearing in. Like as we talked about earlier, the Kellogg's fruit snacks are hitting stores now. They obviously didn't announce that ahead of time. We're just going to start seeing promotions happening. As we get closer to the film, we're going to see more and more happening. From what we know right now, the Hasbro toys are due to hit shelves in May. The first wave of Hasbro toys, they're street dated for May. We don't have an exact date, but right now distributors and retailers are saying May is the date for the toys, which is pretty cool.
Cool.
Toys are cool. Toys are really cool.
Yeah, and like we're saying, we're probably going to see those hitting in May. So we'll see things announced between now and then. I mean, it's all gearing in pretty fast. We're basically going to see it like an avalanche at this point, where everything's going to start snowballing. And with the snowballing effect, it's just going to get bigger and bigger. So, I mean, like, have you guys seen anything that's kind of made you raise your eyebrow with the viral marketing? Like, any story beats that you're kind of like...
Yeah, you mentioned the InGen thing. I think that's definitely something for future movies. And probably, like, how this one's going to play out.
Yeah.
Is that why the military is there? They're going to be fighting off, not dinosaurs, but ACU?
No, I don't think so. I think it's probably for evacuation. I think that we're going to have internal security, and things are just kind of going to get out of hand, and then probably...
I swear to God, if the dinosaurs break loose because of a power outage or some employee, I'm going to fight someone on the side of the street. I'm just going to walk out of the theater and fight the first person I see.
I honestly don't think we're going to see anything like that. I think that we're going to... Honestly, I don't know. I'm going to guess we're going to see a kind of a chain reaction. I think the Indominus is just going to go on a wrecking rampage, and it's just going to kind of cause mayhem wherever it goes, which kind of knocks down systems as it kind of wrecks hell.
I'm starting to have a problem with the Indominus now. Why the hell would you make something so damn dangerous and lethal in your frickin' park?
Well, I mean...
That makes no sense. It's like, yeah, you want to make something cool to attract audience people, but you can do that without making it the most lethal frickin' thing since Godzilla or whatever.
But what if let's say, what the hell's his name? We just talked about him. What if Mr. Private Security wanted it to happen for his other division of engine?
Unless somehow Wu was a part of that and they snuck it by Masrani and everyone else, then okay, fine, I see it. Otherwise, I don't see it at all. I don't think logically.
I don't think we'll see Wu being like necessarily sinister, but more of like he just wants to prove that he can do it. He wants to prove that he can play God. So if he's given a
the problem is, why would you make something so dangerous?
Because
you can make something that looks cool or super dangerous, but not have it be super lethal. Like, I don't understand their logic here.
Well, I mean, you have the Velociraptors, you have the T-Rex, you have these two super dangerous animals.
Yeah, but I mean, this thing's like the combination of both and then some, which is like disgusting.
Because you can, because he wants to prove that he can. Don't like that. He's so caught up on whether or not he could. He never stopped to think if he should.
But will the general audience buy that? Because I don't think they will.
I think if that's the story, I mean, if you see Wu's, that sounds like Wu's character. Wu is especially Wu from the book. That very much sounds like Wu's character.
Hopefully they know what they're doing. I trust Colin. I trust Colin and Derek.
So I mean, that sounds like a natural fit for the story itself. I mean, I would have still rather seen a real species of dinosaur, just because I think there's a lot of cool dinosaurs out there. But I understand. It's all going to come down on execution at this point. Have you seen anything now, with everything that we've got? Like, do you have any... I think people just want to hear, like, what's your analysis? Like, what do you think it all means? What do you think the bigger picture is that's happening at this point?
In this movie?
Well, I mean, from, like, the viral marketing and everything. Like, what's your takeaway? Like, what are some of the feelings that you're getting now? Beyond that, like, with the trailer, like, what are some of your story...
I don't know. It's to me. It's all it's done is establish that this park is operational. It's not. It's hinted at like we discussed on the Masrani news. It's hinting at things that could go wrong, like the storm, and talking about the head of security. But it's.
I think those hints are pretty.
It hasn't done anything to me. It hasn't done anything for me other than get me really excited about the fact that there's an operational park. That's all it's established.
I think that those news updates are pretty deliberately chosen, to be honest. We should talk about... Are you okay?
Yeah,
Did we ever talk about the Grendel update? Is that what it's called? No, Grendel.
What's Grendel?
That's from the sales
That's what... Hold on.
The best script ever.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got that one wrong. It was the... what the hell was the name of the update? It wasn't Grendel. It was...
Did we say who Vincent D'Onofrio was playing at? Did we say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hoskins.
Hoskins.
No, the Martel. Did we ever talk about Martel?
No, what's Martel? I don't recall.
I think
the Siberian expedition. The fact that they're going into Siberia to dig up.
Yeah, that was the first news, so we did talk about that.
Did we? I don't like. I honestly don't remember. Okay, yeah, maybe we did.
So long.
Yeah, we were so overdue. That's why I'm like trying to get, because I know a lot of people have wanted us to talk about the website, and
I think we spoke about that, Chris. Though I really think we did, but we can talk about it again.
I mean, I think the Masrani website it's seeding some really interesting hints. I think it's very deliberate, the things that they're choosing to talk about, from the Martel project, which is the fact that they've gone into Siberia to start looking for Pleistocene aged animals, as well as other things. Probably, I wouldn't be surprised if they're opening a facility there. But they're looking.
I want to see those.
I don't think you're going to see them in Jurassic World. I mean, you won't see them in Jurassic World because it says right there in the archive itself. It says they just went in there in November 2014, and they're looking for Pleistocene animals for one reason or another, like woolly mammoths. And so if they're doing that, I think that's a very deliberate thing. I don't think that they're just saying, "Oh, hey, look, this is what Engine's doing." No, I mean, they're planting these seeds of the franchise itself is growing before our eyes, and the seeds in these viral websites, I think they're very important. The fact that they talked about Hurricane Halt's Masrani oil operation, I think it's a hint that hurricanes will have an effect. The fact that they talk about the Glinda.
Yeah, what about the satellite? How's that related to anything?
Like I said, I think it's a hint that they have weather satellites, but maybe they won't have them, and maybe it won't be in operation in time. I think they said
yeah.
So they won't catch it in time. They won't catch the fact that there's a hurricane coming, and they'll be stuck dealing with the hurricane as well as everything else on the island. Honestly, like I said, I wonder if the hurricane's not going to knock out the power, but if it's just going to basically strand everyone on the island. Because basically, once things go to hell, you'd imagine everyone would want it just to get off the island. But if you can't get off the island, you've got a very big issue.
Yeah.
So
I feel like everything bad's happening on just that one single day.
I mean, is it one single day? It's hard. It might be. I don't know.
It's the worst day of history, apparently.
I don't know. Because if you look at... I don't know. The way I think you're going to have some bad things happen, and I think the idea is, okay, we have this under control. It's not as bad as we think it is, and things kind of continue going on at like, okay, we got this. It's all right. It's not the best, but we've got this. And then I'm guessing suddenly, like, the chain reaction snowball effect is going to happen, and then you're going to see it go from bad, but, under control to just all hell's broken loose.
Yeah, for sure. I think so. I think it's going to, yeah. I think the storm's just going to be a burden on top of everything they have to deal with. Like you say, maybe it just hinders visitors actually getting off the island when it's in. So they're probably all waiting on the dock, and then you can hear things,
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I mean,
they're waiting for the boat, but the boat's never going to come.
Exactly. I mean, like, we see that scene where, Pratt's character says evacuate the island, and what if they're like, we can't.
But we can't. Sorry.
There's a storm
They're like,
inbound,
yeah, about that. There's a there's a hurricane. People are going to be eaten. I'm sorry.
Wait, they don't have like special visitor bunkers like Operation Genesis to hide people from dinosaurs?
I'm sure they do have security measures, but I mean, when you have all hell breaking loose, you'd want to get everyone off the island rather than try to put how many visitors are at Jurassic Park on a given day?
20,000.
Yeah, 20.
I think I made that number up. Is that 20,000?
I don't know. I'm going to JurassicWorld.com.
You know what? It's going to be so stupid. We're going to be watching the movie. Dinosaurs will get loosed, and then out of 20,000 people, 7 will die.
Oh, I think we'll see more people die than that.
Yeah.
The park capacity...
It needs to be a bloodbath, really.
Yeah, but does it? Because, dinosaurs aren't like murderers or slasher villains
no,
like Mike Myers. They're not going to just go around and killing people for fun.
Oh, yeah.
Food.
They will.
I'll kill that
and
one
the
guy.
D-Rex. The Indominus Rex will.
The Indominus Rex, and if the rat...
It will kill anything that moves.
And actually, what I think another dinosaur that we might see very dangerous... that is a fact. It's from the trailer. Another dinosaur that might be interestingly dangerous is the Dimorphodon. They just kind of look like little flying piranhas, so I wouldn't be surprised if they behave like little flying piranhas in the movie.
I hope they actually treat the animals like actual animals and not killing machines.
I mean, I think
Terminators in disguise.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
I think that they will. I think the Indominus Rex is going to be our killing machine, and it's justifiable.
Mike Myers in dinosaur form.
Yeah, I think that's justifiably their killing machine because they basically made it as a monster to be a monster. That way, they don't have to make the dinosaurs be the monsters themselves. As for the other things, I think that you're just going to have a series of unfortunate events where people are at the wrong place at the wrong time. I mean, we know the hotel is literally right next to where they have the T-Rex. I mean, if that T-Rex breaks out, there's going to be people standing in the street going, oh, shit. And the T-Rex is going to go, man, it's been a long time since I hunted for some food. This is going to be good. Oh, because, I mean, out of all honesty, it's a carnivorous animal. Carnivorous animals do want to hunt. They do want to eat. I mean, that's what Grant says. So they're not going to go around killing everything that moves, but there's no doubt if that T-Rex breaks out, it's going to see people running around, and it's going to say, well, I'm pretty hungry. Let's
Yeah, but look,
let's stretch my
San
legs.
Diego, though. The T-Rex didn't go around killing like 100 people. You
No,
killed, like, that
absolutely.
one David Cap who deserved to get eaten for that script, by the way.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come
The
on.
script...
Oh, that was an easy one. I took it. I took that one.
I don't
funny.
know.
You could have that
I mean,
one.
people are going to die. Like I said, I think that you're going to see if the Raptors go bad, they're going to be dangerous because they're territorial. Raptors are territorial. So if you run into Raptors, you're going to have an issue. The T-Rex is going to kill one or two people, maybe step on a few along the way. But the flying reptiles, I think they're going to really. I think they're going to play around with Dimorphodons being very unintelligent and aggressive animals. It just kind of seems it fits the way they look. It feels like a Jurassic Park move, you know? What do you guys want to see now? With everything that we've seen at this point, what do you guys want to see with the marketing going forward? What would reassure you now? Like, what do you think we absolutely need to see, and what do you think the general audience absolutely needs to see going forward?
Okay. I'm done with pictures from Colin's Twitter. Like, obviously I love them, but they're not full news.
Yeah,
now. They're just cool
keep
little
it up,
things.
but
So
we need more. A lot more.
I want to see. What do I want to see? Well, I want a teaser trailer. I know it's stupid now.
Yeah, you'll never get...
But I really wanted a teaser trailer, and I wanted something that's not incredibly nostalgic, but it really establishes that this is a sequel and not a remake of the original park. I want to see some shots of. Why don't they release a 30-second clip of a worker who's in the middle of the forest, and you just know he's being watched. That kind of thing. I want to see that original classic JP from this movie, but we're not going to get that.
We might get something. I don't think we'll get... I mean, we're not going to get... At this point, we're obviously not going to get a teaser. We've already had a teaser trailer, and it's a trailer, so...
What are you feeling, Asees?
I'm not going to watch any more trailers. So
yes, you are.
No, I can't.
You have to. What are you going to do for future podcasts?
Ah, shit. I'll just sit by and comment, I guess. I won't watch it though. No more footage for me.
You're gonna watch the Super Bowl one, right? I would assume.
Absolutely not. No, I'm done. I've seen everything so far. It's more than enough for me. Because I've seen footage. I'm okay. I can wait till the movie now. But if I were to watch the trailers, I'd want to see more story focus, less action focus. I want to see the characters. I don't want to see action.
Yes.
I know there's going to be action in the Jurassic Park movies. I know this. I want to see the characters.
Yeah, dude, Nick and Ty didn't say a word.
Yeah.
In the trailer.
More importantly, Bryce and Chris spoke. No one else, and that stupid Rooker.
Yeah, see, I want to see some conversation. I want to see the kid ask questions.
A huge misstep. Show
me Miss Ronnie too. Show me.
Yeah, a huge misstep was not showing. They have such a fantastic cast, and the trailer didn't show. It didn't show Henry Wu. It didn't show Ms. Ronnie. It didn't show... I still can't remember his name, and we've talked about him. They didn't show Hoskins. I mean, as we're talking about Irfan Khan, B.D. Wong, and Vincent D'Onofrio.
I want to see Omar Sy.
Yeah, they didn't show Omar Sy. They didn't show Omar Sy, who's supposedly Chris Pratt's best friend in the movie universe.
Also, he's a wicked actor. If you haven't seen his movie in French,
he's fantastic.
Or whatever.
You have this great cast, and they didn't show any of them. All they showed was Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard for the most part. And then we have other people. We have other people in the movie as well, like Lauren Lapkus, Jake Johnson, Katie McGrath. And we didn't see any of them. I mean, they've got such an ensemble lined up for this movie. They should really, really show that. And I think that they should show that it's a Jurassic Park movie. I mean, kind of show these real visceral shots that don't reveal a lot, but it's like, oh, look how I want to see a Jurassic Park vehicle driving down a street. I want to see a car blasting. I want to see a car blasting through the field. We know it's being chased. We don't see who's in the car. We don't see what's chasing them, but we know things are happening. Those types of teases are exactly what I want to see. I want to
show less epic colossal sweeping shots. Show more intimate shots.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see.
Get
Or I would
intimate
want-
with it. Get intimate with it. Exactly.
Here's the thing.
You know, stuff like in the trailer when he's evacuate the island. Just, you know, we've discussed it in detail in the trailer analysis. The way he says the line, the way he delivers it,
Yeah.
perfect.
Oh yeah,
You know, stuff like that. I want to see the kind of intense.
he seems mortified. Whatever he's learned at that point, he's just he's horrified. He's things. We need to see that a little bit more. And sure, there's a lot of fun in Jurassic World, especially it's going to be at the beginning when the park's open. Open and everything's good, and we've got little kids riding on the back of Triceratops and petting them.
No,
and everything
we've
like
seen that trailer. That was the first trailer.
But
First trailer was the fun trailer.
The first
I wanna
trailer
see, like,
wasn't the fun trailer. The
story
first trailer
trailer.
was. The first trailer was.
Yeah, I don't want to see kids riding on.
Well, we did
Triceratops
technically,
and stuff.
right?
I mean,
that's
no,
what the
I
first
wanna
one was.
No, they didn't show that though. That's the thing. Like they barely.
But it was
touched
like
him.
happy fun time.
Sort of. It was weird. It didn't feel like any of that. It was kind of like, oh, it's happy for about the first 30 seconds, and then it's like, we created our first hybrid. Uh-oh, this might be bad. And then it was like,
Oh shit, it's gonna be bad.
yeah, and then it was like, oh, it's bad. The thing is, that trailer didn't do one thing. It did multiple things, and it didn't do any of them quite as well as it could have. So
Yeah.
I think that we're going to have... I mean, honestly, I think that we're going to see a little bit more happy-go-lucky trailer at the Kids' Choice Awards. So I think that
You're not gonna show death and destruction.
I think the Super Bowl trailer is going to be dark and grim. Hopefully it has story. Like, I mean, obviously what they showed during the Super Bowl is not going to have the story in it. That's fine, because it's got to be a TV spot. TV spots do things differently. But the trailer that accompanies it, I hope that it has a little bit more of... I don't want it to reveal the story, but I want it to show that there's more character moments in the movie. I want it to show the more intimate side, like you guys said.
Yeah.
And then...
Definitely. I think most people want to see that anyway. And obviously,
But-
the next thing I want to see is a T-Rex.
Yeah, T-Rex and the Velociraptors in the daylight. I would love to see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why daylight? Not nighttime. It'll look
so-
better at night.
Well, I want to see what their... I mean, they each have a different identity and color. Like, I'd really like to see
Oh yeah,
them.
the Raptors. Yeah, good point. Good
Yeah, like, I'd really like to kind of get a chance to see... I mean, they're going to sort of be like... You know, they're really going to have a focus.
Yeah.
Jack, are you getting sick?
I've you know what? I've had this cold for about 6 weeks, and I thought it was going, but it doesn't feel like.
Yeah,
That's death. That's death.
I'm off of antibiotics, but my throat's still sore.
Yeah,
haven't
dude, it's
gotten
like a
sick
bad
yet.
throat. It's a cold. It's just like, but I've had it for so long. I got it at the end. I got it when the trailer came out.
That's a sign. You're gonna have it till the end of the Jurassic World movie.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, this is actually something incredibly important. I can't believe we didn't talk about this. This is something that a lot of people were focused on. A lot of people were wondering about.
Huh?
Yes,
Oh.
yes,
Wait. Yes.
yes. I did shave when I saw the trailer in theaters.
That's the most important thing in this podcast. Remember this, kids.
Yeah.
Chris shaved
is.
his beard.
It's thank God. It was fun.
I mean, thank you for clearing that up.
You're welcome.
I was worried too.
It was fun while it was
shaved.
fun while it lasted, but it is. I have a face again. I don't just have a giant poof ball on the bottom of my face. I no longer look like Yukon Cornelius, and I know some of you are saddened by that, but
I hope you use.
it's
I
the
hope
way.
you use Barbasol to shave.
You know, I didn't clean.
Shame.
I didn't clean shave.
Oh, so you just trimmed it down a bit.
Well, that sounds like I barely did anything. I did a lot more than trim. I mean, I basically took everything off. I took quite a few inches off. I brought it right up to my face, but
Hey, you were pure Canadian lumberjack for a bit. That's
yeah,
good. That's good.
it was beautiful. I mean, I think I was really embracing my true self there. Honestly, I mean, it's we should start a Canadian lumberjack spin-off series.
Oh, there you go. You heard it here first, kids. Canadian lumberjack spin-off Jurassic Park series.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, so I mean, I think we.
Speaking. Go.
No, I was gonna say I think we covered everything, but go on.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of cutting things off, let's cut off this podcast.
Okay, there we
Ooh,
go.
It's all about the segues today.
Yo, I've been
It's all
practicing.
about the segues
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
What a boy.
There we go.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, nice one. Thank you all for listening. This has obviously been a longer podcast than usual, but we had a lot to talk about. All I'd say is check out our Twitter at Jurassic Park 4 and our Facebook, obviously Jurassic World. We have about 70,000 likes now, which is fantastic.
And growing.
It's growing, and we're just glad that you guys like our content. Our YouTube, obviously, which is well, just search for our podcast on YouTube, and you'll find the channel.
Let us know what you want to see in the future as well.
Yeah, let us know. Obviously, we try and accommodate, and we try and discuss everything you guys want us to discuss. And yeah, I mean, if anybody has heard anything about a Jurassic Park / World game, get in touch, because this
or
is,
toys,
this is what
toys as well.
Or anything Hasbro.
Or shirts.
I'm done with Lego for now. You know, we've got a lot of Lego. I'm fine with it now.
Yeah.
Hasbro.
Yeah, I would just
Hasbro stuff.
marketing.
And,
I don't want to hear story leaks or anything along those lines.
Stop sending us that
But-
stuff.
Oh, we're incredibly done with leaks. Like now that we have official HD footage of the trailer. I mean, we'd never post an actual footage leak anyway. But now that we've got like a full HD version of the trailer, I don't want to see like clips leaked and stuff. I'm done with that.
Yeah.
man. I can wait.
Exactly.
You
You know,
Yeah,
I've
you
seen
don't
the
need
part.
leaks.
Why would I want to
Yeah.
see it low?
But if
quality?
you know things like, oh, hey, they're going to have a really cool cross promotion at such and such, and it's going to have a poster with the Raptors on it, it's going to have the Ankylosaur on it, or you're going to be able to buy this toy, and it's going to, etc. If you know that stuff, let us know. That's really cool stuff. We want to hear it. We know other people want to hear it. So if it's something that we can share, we would love to. As long as
Make
we
sure
don't.
you guys save your money too. It's going to be expensive.
As long as you don't think it'll be a spoiler.
Expensive months.
Yeah.
it's scary how expensive it's going to be.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll be sure to detail everything that you can buy and everything that's going to be bleeding your wallet dry in the upcoming future.
We're going to make Universal
doubt.
rich. Holy crap.
Oh yeah,
they're going to be minted.
that's the plan.
But it's worth it.
That's the
Yeah.
plan.
It's been too long. But yeah, thank you for listening, guys. It's been a fun podcast. Send in your stories of Jurassic World games. Just anything Jurassic World, send in. And there we go.
Yeah.
That's episode 12.5. Done.
Good stuff, guys.
Fantastic.
Good stuff.
All right.
Yeah, nice one, guys. Speak to you soon.
Yeah. Bye.
Farewell.
Take care.